guarantee, the most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories. Go to audible.com today to start your free 30-day trial, and your first audiobook is on us.
This is the Delaware High School basketball game of the week, presented by the U.S. Air Force. You're listening to the Fox Sports Pregame show on 1290 and iHeartRadio.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant High School. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. We're about 5 minutes from player introductions, the anthem, and then tip-off between the number 8 ranked Mount Pleasant Green Knights and the number 9 Salesianum Sals. Mount Pleasant comes in with a 13-4 record, and Salesianum at 10-6. Mount Pleasant lost their last 2 games to Glasgow and Christiana. Famir Ali was ejected from the from the Glasgow game late in that game. They lost a close one there, and then he was not able to play in the Christiana game. And anytime you lose 26 points a game, you're going to struggle against any team here in the state of Delaware. Marty, one thing I was looking at, Coach Lisa Sullivan sent us a bunch of interesting tidbits, which we'll talk about throughout the broadcast. But one of them was the bottom of their warm-ups, and you can see them here, team spirit, intentiveness, all kinds of stuff. That's part of John Wooden's pyramid of success, and she's assigned them self-control. I see poise, I see team spirit, based on what they feel those individual players contribute. And it's just one of those team-building things. You know, I've been doing this for 12 years now, and I've never seen something like that on the back of warm-ups to take, you know, the most famous college coach in history, maybe arguably the most famous coach in history for basketball, and put together something like that. I just thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, I loved it. I thought that was really neat. And as you said, we'll talk about some other things. There's out-of-bounds plays. Their plays are called by different names based on people you may have lost or people who are inspirational. And I love it because it kind of has the dual purpose of you tend to remember something more if you can familiarize it with something you know about or that you've been a part of. And it also involves the kids and gets them feeling like they're part of the process. They're naming these plays. It's just almost kind of a synergistic relationship between Lisa and her players that I really love. And it always amazes me. She, year in and year out, her teams are always among the most disciplined in the state. I know we talked about Ali had a rough stretch 2 games ago, but for the most part, this is an extremely well-run program. She doesn't put up with any nonsense.
No, she doesn't. Famir Ali, if you're not familiar with him, he scored his 1,000th point back on January 17th. He actually played at Sally's as a freshman.
Yes.
And then transferred here. And, you know, I talk to Lisa Sullivan quite often during the basketball season because she's a personal friend of our families. And, you know, she always talks about how kids want to come to school here to play with her. And she says a lot of these kids come from single mom families. And she laughs and she said, I'm kind of the father figure in that family. And I think one of the greatest things, and I've said this on the air before, one of the greatest things about the Lisa Sullivan story is that it's no longer about her being the only female varsity basketball head coach in the state of Delaware ever. It is about Lisa Sullivan, who has put together one of the top programs, I'd probably say top 5 programs in the state of Delaware in terms of consistency on the basketball court, consistency off the basketball court, and getting the most out of her players' potential.
I agree. I mean, as I said, they've been a top 4 seed 3 of the last 4 seasons. They've won a game in the state tournament, if I'm not mistaken, 6 out of the last 8 years. They were the number 1 seed 2 years ago. They were upset in the semifinals, of course. But it's just when you look at some of these Blue Hen Conference teams, some of them aren't as strong as they used to be, and they kind of ebb and flow, and some teams make a run in the state tournament. Some teams don't make it. And then you look at Mount Pleasant, and they are just consistently there. They've had a season from 2012 to 2014. They were the 2018 and 10 seed. Since then, they've been no worse than 11th, which was the only time they were out of the top 8, and that was last season. And part of that was due to the fact that they had to overcome another season. They were preparing to have Kayvon Kramer on that team. So she's had to make adjustments on the fly, and it really is amazing considering the turnover in high school basketball that a Mount Pleasant team, a Blue Hen Conference Flight A team, has been as successful as consistently as this Green Knight squad has.
The only team, as you were talking about, that I could come up with that might be a close comparison is St. George's.
Yes.
And St. George's is the one team that you can probably compare. Rod Griffin, of course, the head coach there. But even that, Rod Griffin's teams have been good the last 4 or 5 years since he's been the coach. The first several years they weren't, before they became an official varsity program. So Lisa Sullivan has the longevity, certainly, of that. And you mentioned Kayvon Kramer, again, if you're just tuning in. Kayvon Kramer was one of the best basketball players in the state as a freshman, one of the best basketball players in the state as a sophomore. I'd go as far to say if he was healthy, he probably could be the player of the year this year, him or probably maybe Bones Highland. But even though they're two completely different players. But what happened to him is he tore his ACL, missed his junior year, went in and had surgery, and then in, I believe it was his last appointment when he thought he would be cleared, they discovered that when he had strep throat, he developed a staph infection in his knee, and it basically destroyed all the work that had been done. So he had to have a second ACL injury. And Marty, I never appreciated the recovery process for a knee surgery of any kind until I had my knee replaced this summer, and that was 7 months ago, and I'm still not 100%. And so, you know, I understand why people who get an ACL, they're out for a year. They're not out for a few months. And so, you know, it really is something that, you know, just imagine this team, which was ranked number 4 last week at this time, what they would be like with Kayvon Kramer.
I agree.
All right, they're getting ready to sing the national anthem here at Mount Pleasant High School. When we come back, it's tip-off between the Green Knights and the Salesianum Sows. You're listening to the Game of the Week on Fox Sports 1290 and watching it live on 302 Sports.
Are you at risk for oral cancer?
I never chew tobacco.
No matter where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013,
life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvement's pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a
risk of not being in that top 8.
That's right. And I think one of the interesting things is after Mount Pleasant lost to Christiana without Famir Ali last week, I'm sure Coach Sullivan thought, well, at least we have the factor of, you know, we want to get back on the winning side. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, St. Mark's beat Sally's on Friday night. So Sally's is in the same boat where they're saying, okay, we got to get this bad taste out of our mouth. We've beaten the Spartans 18 consecutive times before that night. The first game at the field house, which I'm sure they weren't happy about losing either. So I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. A Salesianum team that's really deep, has a ton of size and athleticism against a Mount Pleasant team that plays really disciplined. They are a hard-working team. They'll go after loose balls. They really fight. Both these teams are decent from the free throw line. No one's really going to blow you away like we saw with Nana Joku. I believe he was up around 75%. There's no Caleb Matthews or Elena Deladons this year that are shooting 90% in the state of Delaware. So it's a game, I think it's going to be physical. Both teams like to drive. Mount Pleasant likes to drive and kick out. Salesianum loves to drive and finish at the bucket. They may kick out to Ferranti or Jack Brown on occasion, but Kalk, Darnell Vaughn, even Jack Brown on occasion will go to the rack and take it up for two.
Well, you know it's going to be a good game when Brad Myers of the News Journal is here. So we always happy to see Brad here. It's always, it's a big game when he's in the court here. And, of course, the 302 Sports live stream along with our broadcast. A packed house, pretty much.
It is.
Not sold out. I wasn't sure whether it would be or not. And a nice round of applause there. Ridge Logan is getting
They are
the
going to get the start.
So
yeah.
he is going to get a start. He, of course, was a gentleman who joined the United States Air Force. And each of the Mount Pleasant players, as they got introduced, ran over to some of the players who have played here
Yes.
before along here. I think Raheem Burnett, I think I saw him here. He apparently comes back to all the games as well. We just finished telling his story with Preston Campbell, the senior manager here of this Mount Pleasant game. And so we're going to get ready to tip it off here. And both these teams in the top 10, as we said, Mount Pleasant at number 8, Salesianum at number 9. They were at 4 and 5, but Mount Pleasant's back-to-back losses to Glasgow and Christiana dropped them, and Sally's, of course, lost on Friday night to St. Mark's for the first time since 2010. So we're getting ready to go here. Salesianum is in their navy blue uniforms from top to bottom with the gold trim, the white numbers. Mount Pleasant in the home white uniforms with the dark, I think you'd almost call that Kelly green.
Yes.
There. Jumping it up for Salesianum is going to be senior Sean Regan. And we'll see who's going to end up jumping it up for Mount Pleasant. Mount moving right to left as we see it. It's going to be senior Charles Russell jumping it up for them. We don't have any heights for Charles Russell, but I can tell you that Regan is 6'5", and Russell is probably at least an inch taller than him. So it will be interesting. So, again, Ridge Logan, the one starter that we didn't have in our starting 5, and I think he is in for Samaj Gaiman.
And, John, a real quick uniform situation. Jack Brown, who I've seen in every game wear a sleeve on his shooting elbow, was just told to take that sleeve off.
Wow.
Protested a little bit, but
by the official or his coach?
By the officials.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
So the tap is won by Salesianum. They're moving left to right as we see it. Rasheen Kalk has it. Mount Pleasant appears to be in a man-to-man defense. Charles Russell comes out looking for a double team. Mount Pleasant plays a swarming defense. They get it over to Vaughn. Vaughn drives right by his defender and misses the reverse layup. Coming down with the rebound is Charles Russell. Famil Ali gets it up quickly. Jumper by Patton from the corner. 3, no good. Ball is on the floor, and Jack Brown comes up with it. Vaughn has it, goes behind his legs, gets it ahead to Regan. Regan thought about the 3. Instead, he kicks it back, and it works all the way over into Ferranti. Has it in the corner. Jack Brown gets it back up top. Mount Pleasant in the man-to-man defense here. A swarming man-to-man defense. They look to double team all the time. Regan has it in the left corner, gets back out front to Ferranti, and they're going to slow it down and give the ball to Rasheen Kalk, the sophomore. He drives right down the middle, puts it up, and good.
Rasheen Kalk took advantage of Nathan Patton playing a little too far off. If you get Kalk a lot of room up above the arc, he's going to take advantage of it. You've got to play him a bit closer than about the 5 feet of space that Patton gave him.
So Sally's Schoolers force 2-0. Butcher on the other end, a floater in the lane, no good. Regan comes down with it. Butcher tears it away from him, but then jumps out of bounds. And it's going to be Salesianum ball. Just 1 minute, 15 seconds into the game, 2-0 Sally's.
Mount Pleasant is not going to be the tallest team against anyone, but they do a great job of boxing out the technique they use down low. Plus, a lot of rebounding is determination, and you'll see a lot of it from this Green Knight team.
A couple years ago, I think Lisa's tallest player was like 6'2".
Yes.
Who got significant time, and that was the team that reached the semifinals. Ferranti has it. He gets it over, and a quick underneath to Regan. He goes up. It's stripped away by Russell, and coming away with it is Butcher, and he gets it knocked away from behind by Parson, and it's going to be Sally's ball.
Bit of a frenetic pace here from two teams. As we said, Mount Pleasant, if you've seen them play over the years, it's nothing new. They love to get out in transition. Salesianum, it's a little bit different. Under Taylor Trevison, they've started getting out and running the ball a little bit more again, which is part of the reason they do go about 10 or 11 deep, usually in the first half of games.
Coach Sullivan wanted a kick ball, didn't get it. Driving is Kalk. He gets it over to the corner. Vaughn with a jumper from 3 is short. Famir Ali comes down with it. He leads the team with 7 rebounds. Ali has it over a long NBA type 3, hits off the front of the rim, no good. Kalk comes down with it. He gets it out quickly to Jack Brown. The big man drives in, puts it up, and he's going to get charged with an offensive foul.
Jack Brown very clearly made an effort to lower his shoulder and drive into the defender. If he just would have gone straight up, the defender was still moving on the play. He may have gotten the call the other way, but anytime you lower your shoulder, and the referee was literally 2 feet away from him while he did it, so easy call to make.
Jack Brown, the second of 3 brothers. Paul Brown, of course, was in the middle of the paint for several years, and there's a younger brother who might be better than both of them. Famir Ali drives in, hard off the back of the rim, no good. It comes back out to Jack Brown. He's got it right down the middle, kicks it over to Vaughn. Vaughn with a pump fake, comes in the middle, floats it up, no good, and Ali with his second rebound of the game comes down with it. 5:34 to play, just 2 points so far. That's by Sally's. They lead 2-0.
I love the fact that Vaughn gave up the three-pointer when he saw an opening, drove in even though he came up short.
Ridge Logan, the senior, gets a shot, misses it from 3. Quickly on the other end, it's Kalk, fires from 3, in and out, no good, batted around. Sally's comes down with it. NBA 3 by Brown is good.
Jack Brown, that's something. If you've been a Sally's fan, you've seen him do that for the last 3 years. It's something he's fully capable of doing. He's only hitting about 29% of his threes this year. He struggled a little bit, but as we've said, they have the personnel where they've made up for it by driving the ball and some of the other outside shooters, including Max Ferranti.
Sally's playing a packed-in man-to-man defense here, if that makes sense, but that's what they're doing. They're conceding the NBA-type threes. Mount Pleasant's missed 2 of them. Haven't scored yet. We're at the 4:45 mark. Sally's with a 5-0 lead. Famir Ali goes baseline, kicks it over into the corner, and that's Patton for 3.
That was all Famir Ali, too. He did a great job. He went around Jack Brown, beat him to the baseline, then got it out to the outside where it was knocked down by Patton for the 3. Patton, as we said, a really proficient three-point shooter.
Ferrante's 3, no good, and then quickly on the other end, it's Ali for 3.
Ali's a streaky shooter. If he starts feeling it, could be trouble for Salesianum. That time he came down. Nobody stopped ball for Salesianum. He was able to pull up right at the arc and drain it.
And so just like that, it's 6-5. Brown on the other side, hard off the back of the rim from the right wing 3. And the other way, that's Butcher behind the back. Fake, drives in, puts it up, no good. Followed by Russell, tipped up, but off the front of the rim. Jack Brown comes down with it, under 4 to play in the first quarter. Mount Pleasant with a 1-point lead, 6-5, and stripped of the ball. That's Vaughn. Famir Ali has it. He goes up strong and scores.
Ali, a phenomenal job of avoiding the hands of Rasheed Kalk, who's going to go up and look for the block. Ali brought the ball down and then back up again with his elevation. He had no problem doing that, banked it in for the easy 2 points. A great defensive play. We've seen the skills on display here early from Famir Ali.
And with just like that, after trailing 5-0, Mount Pleasant has an 8-5 lead. Sally's takes a 30-second timeout. They now trail 8-5 here on senior night at Mount Pleasant. Famir Ali has 5 points, and Nate Patton a 3-pointer as well. Famir Ali comes in averaging 27 points a game, 8 assists, 5 steals, all lead this team. He was a third-team All-State player last year.
And he's one of those kids that the other squad they're playing knows that he's going to get the ball. They know that he's going to be the offensive focal point. He's still able to get it done. A lot of that's due to the fact that he has a strong supporting cast.
Kalk and Parson have it out front. After the timeout, they get it over to Regan in the left corner. He fakes, but gets it back out to Jack Brown. Brown's being guarded closely by Samaj Gaiman, who usually gets the start, didn't in lieu of Ridge Logan getting it here on senior night, but Gaiman is back in the game now. And it is Kalk in the right corner. I'm shielded here by a couple wandering fans. And it's underneath, nice feed underneath, but no good. That was Parson who got it underneath to Regan. They're going to call a foul, and Regan will head to the foul line to shoot 2.
That was a great look by Charles Parson inside. Regan got it wide open and then just kind of short-armed the layup, but was able to draw the contact. And Regan's a kid, they usually play 4 around 1 Salesianum, where Regan plays inside as he misses that first free throw badly off the front of the rim. Again, free throw shooting in the state of Delaware overall, not that phenomenal this year. Regan's done a really nice job throughout the season, though, for Sally's being that inside presence.
Makes the second of his 2. Came in a 50% shooter, so it's only appropriate that he's 1 of 2. 8-6, 3:07 to play here in the first quarter. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Famir Ali has it. He makes a couple moves on Parson. Pulls up for a 3, top of the key off the back of the rim, and they're going to call a push-off underneath. I think they're going to get Regan on the push-off.
And that time, credit Sally's defense. You had said that they were playing a packed-in man defense, which they were. After Ali hit that last big three, Sally's has now extended. It caused a little confusion on the Mount Pleasant side. Turn over the ball, Sally's possession.
Foul was Charles Russell's foul for Mount Pleasant. He fouled Regan, is what I meant to say. Sally's has it, trailing 8-6. Vaughn's got it. He gets it over to Kalk, the sophomore. He drives in, gives it back to Vaughn. Vaughn goes behind the back, trying to get around Ali. Does. Puts it up with his left hand. No good. They're going to call a charge on Vaughn. He's looking for it to count, saying he got rid of it before the foul. It's not going to happen.
Vaughn, a phenomenal job of getting around Ali, and then just as phenomenal a job down low by Charles Russell, who simply stood his ground. I would argue if this were college, he was probably inside that protective space, which I think which is why Kalk was looking for the foul call. Of course, in high school, that doesn't exist. Charles Russell had his base set, went straight up, so Kalk draws the offensive foul.
Ethan Hines checks in for Vaughn. Moses Olodogwe checks in for Mount Pleasant, having a seat. I didn't see who it was that sat down. Actually, it was Nathan Patton having a seat. 8-6 lead for Mount Pleasant. They have the ball. Butcher has it, gets it to Ali in a low post. He goes in, dumps it underneath to Russell. What a pass by Ali.
That is amazing court vision by Ali. He had two trees in his way. There's no way he could have seen Russell except with an eyelash. He got it. Perfect pass. And up for two. And then Sally's a little rattled, throws the ball away as Mount Pleasant's defensive pressure appears to be getting to the Sows a little bit.
Hines, the sophomore, tried to get it back out front after being trapped in the corner and ended up throwing it to his bench, basically. So it's going to be Mount Pleasant ball with 2:13 to play and a 10-6 lead in this non-conference battle between two perennial playoff teams who both will see action in March this year. Driving to the basket is Russell, floats it up, bounces around, and falls. His fourth point of the night, and it's a 12-6 lead, Mount Pleasant.
And Olodogwe, a phenomenal job again, driving in and drawing the defense to him, finding the open man down low for the easy two. Mount Pleasant executing perfectly on offense right now.
Jack Brown trying to get to the basket, gets forced outside, forces a shot in a low block. It's an air ball. Samaj Gaiman comes down with it quickly on the other end. It's Butcher. He loses it from behind. Got lucky there. I didn't think that was a foul, but they're going to call it to be Mount Pleasant ball underneath.
Yeah, a little reach in there that they're calling. It looks like they're going to call that on either Kalk or Hines. But down the other end, again, when Jack Brown tried to go up, a great job again positioning by Charles Russell, who's going to get a break here with 1:30 to go in the first quarter. Russell has done a great job down low, keeping Sally's off the boards and keeping them away from the easy layups.
Jadon Barnes-Gibbs checks in for Russell, and they catch it driving. A nice behind-the-head pass from the Famir Ali to Barnes-Gibbs for two, plus the foul. We've seen two of the best passes we're going to see all year.
I'll tell you what, I've watched 6 Mount Pleasant games over the past week, and those were some of the best passes I've seen all year. This is certainly the best Mount Pleasant has looked on offense. As we said, Ali missed the Christiana game when he was ejected with 1 second left against Newark. You can tell he's looking to redeem himself. He is on fire tonight, just looking phenomenal down low.
Barnes-Gibbs, a lefty, converts on the +1 and makes it a 15-6 game, 1:30 to play here in the first quarter. Mount Pleasant trailed 5-0 right off the bat and then just took over from there as they're going to pick up a foul. That's going to be against Famir Ali, not a foul that I'm Coach Lisa Sullivan wanted to see him waste.
You know what? If there's one criticism, and if you watch the Newark game, you'll see it. Every now and then he gets himself a little bit too excited, and he'll try to make the spectacular play on defense. He'll reach in or use his body and pick up a cheap foul. He has gotten in foul trouble on occasion. It's something he's got to be mindful of.
Sally's working the ball around, moving left to right as we see it. A nice feed underneath, tipped away by Ali. It's going to stay Salesianum ball. They'll inbounds to the right of the basket as we see it here from midcourt.
Ali and Olodogwe both doing a great job using their arms extended to close down the passing lanes for Salesianum.
Kalk gets the inbound, takes a 8-footer from just inside the foul line, and it's good. So Kalk with his fourth point of the night and gets Sally's on the board for the first time in over 3 minutes. Under a minute to play, driving on the other side. That is Olodogwe, and he gets fouled.
I think that's going to be Kalk again. I believe that's going to be his second in the first quarter here, John. So, yeah, a case where he's just using his body a little bit too much. He's kind of on his heels when he's trying to play defense. That time against Olodogwe, when Olodogwe lunges forward, Kalk's not able to get out of the way quickly enough, and he's picking up the body contact, and he'll Actually, it looks like they're going to take Sean Regan out of the game. I thought they might be giving Kalk a rest with under a minute to go here after picking up his second foul, but he'll stay in.
They actually just have Kalk for one foul, and so that's the official one. Yeah, I had him for one as well, so we'll go with that. Famir Ali drives down the middle, lays it in good, and is fouled.
Wow, that was an interesting continuation there, the little bunny hop from Famir Ali. They're going to give the basket. The foul is going to be on. I believe that's going to be Charles Parson, the 6'1 junior for Salesianum. So again, the skills all on display for Famir Ali, and Sally's just doesn't have an answer for him defensively right now. When they collapse on him, he finds the open man. If they leave him alone, he's drained a three-pointer. Now he hits nothing but net on the first free throw.
Famir Ali with his 8th point of the night. Jack Brown checks in. Charles Parson has a seat for the final 43 seconds of this fourth quarter. Mount Pleasant with an 18-8 lead. 38 seconds to play here. Kalk's got it, looking for a pick. He gets it. Hines has it. He gives it up over to Montooth, making his first appearance. Hines drives in, puts it up, and this time it's going to be a block underneath. So after a couple charges called against Sally's, they finally pick up the block. That's going to be against Samaj Gaiman, the sophomore. His first. I have the team just for 3 fouls, whereas Mount Pleasant's going to be in the one-on-one the rest of this first half.
And that was an easy foul to call on Samaj Gaiman, as opposed to Charles Russell, who was standing his ground at the last second. Gaiman shifted his feet laterally and got in the way of Ethan Hines. And Ethan Hines has done a great job for Taylor Trevison off the bench this season. He's also started some games, but he's been a really important member of this team. Only a sophomore, got a bright future as he hits nothing but net on his first free throw.
He is a 70% free throw shooter, one of the better ones on this team. Rasheen Kalk the best at 73%, but the first one, as you said, Marty, is good for Hines. It's now an 18-9 game, 28 seconds left. My guess is Lisa Sullivan will play for the last shot if this goes in or they get the rebound, and this one does go in. So 2 for 2 for Ethan Hines. He's got 2 on the night. It's an 18-10 lead for Mount Pleasant as they move right to left, and they're all white uniforms with a green trim with 23 seconds left to play here in the first quarter.
What would have to be considered a shocking first quarter, too, John. I mean, Mount Pleasant, a total shock to the system here for Salesianum, scoring 18 points after falling behind 5-0.
Yeah, nobody would have ever thought that after the start. Butcher drives in, floats one up, and it's good.
Great job by Butcher coming from the left wing, a little floater as he got to the lane.
Brown on the other end floats his own up from about 5 feet to the left on the baseline,
Anything
and it's good.
I can do better, says Jack Brown, as he floats down and makes almost the same exact shot from the same spot at the opposite end of the floor. Great.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people,
Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way.
Want to shop local for your pet without leaving your home? Then head to ConcordPetFoods.com. ConcordPetFoods.com has just about everything you'll find at your local Concord Pet Store. And it can be delivered right to your door in 1 or 2 days. New customers receive 10% off their first order. While you're online, make sure you register for the Concord Pet Email Club to get special offers. Concord Pets, 29 locations, and always online at ConcordPetFoods.com.
This is the high school football game of the week, presented by the U.S. Air Force on Fox Sports 1290 and our iHeartRadio app.
The high school basketball game of the week here from Mount Pleasant. As the Green Knights lead Salesianum 20-12. Second quarter starts. Mount Pleasant with the ball moving right to left. As we see it, Famir Ali, Nathan Patton, Eshad Butcher in the game along with Charles Russell and Barnes. And from the left corner, that's Butcher with another three. So his fifth of the night, I should say. It's his first three of the night. And Salesianum has it on the other side now. And they're going to call a block, and that block is going to be on Gibbs, it'll be his first,
the team's fourth. And again, Barnes-Gibbs had nice positioning down low. He didn't have to commit that foul against Vaughn, but he tried to body him out of the lane just a little bit too hard and picked it up the foul. Butcher, 17 points a game for Mount Pleasant, hits that three from outside. He's done that all year.
Jack Brown, far left on the three-pointer from the right corner. Amir Ali has it on the other side. He gets it over to Barnes-Gibbs. And Butcher another three. Nothing but net. That's his second three, his 8th point of the night, and it's 26-12. A 14-point lead, the biggest for Mount Pleasant. Driving on the other side. That was called, and they're going to call a foul. The foul is going to be on Mount Pleasant. I think they're going to call Pat, and that'll be his first. The foul was on the ground before the shot. So it's going to be Sally's ball underneath.
It looks like Kalk has determined it's a mismatch against Patton because he's taken advantage of now on 2 of the last 3 possessions. They're now going to sub out Nathan Patton, his coach Sullivan.
Olodogwe comes in as Patton will have a seat on the bench. Olodogwe, a junior. Kalk has it on the right side. Kalk, just a sophomore. He's being guarded by Olodogwe. As you mentioned, Marty, I think they figured out it might be a mismatch there, and they put Olodogwe back in. Working it around. That is Hines with it, and now it's back up front in the hands of Vaughn. Hines has it again. He dishes it out to Ferrante. Ferrante's only attempted one shot. It was a miss from that left wing. And this time a three-point attempt by Ethan Hines from the corner. Rattles in and out. The other way. An alley-oop. And it's just short. Amir Ali tried to hit Barnes-Gibbs. Ali ended up getting his own rebound and came down with it. And they're going to put it back up. Missed it. And I think they're going to call, is it a foul or is it just out of bounds?
Looks like it's going to be out of bounds. It's probably ill-advised alley-oop attempt by Ali as the Salesianum defender got there at the same time as the Mount Pleasant who the pass was intended for. I missed it because of all the bodies in the way, but just wasn't able to come up with the clean pass, so got knocked away. Still almost rolled in.
And Mount Pleasant inbounds it under their own basket, and they start to work it around here. Vaughn and Kalk, Ferrante in for Sally's, along with Hines and Brown. So Hines the only non-starter in. Amir Ali, another three from NBA range. This one's long and comes down in the hands of Brown for Sally. 26-12 lead from Mount Pleasant. He gets it ahead to Vaughn. Vaughn gets it over to the corner. Picked off. A nice job there by Olodogwe, who's done nothing but good things, checking back in. He gets it over to Butcher. This is beyond NBA three. Nothing but net. That's a Globetrotter three, Marty.
Eshawn Butcher, basically just stepped over half court, took the pass and let it fly. That's one of those feelings, and he now has at least 9 points. I know.
Got 11.
11 total.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley. Cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Points for maybe our trophy player. He's got 11 points, 3 from 3. Here in the second quarter, Crown Trophy, proud sponsor of the Fox Sports 1290 Game of the Week since the inception of our programming. What's now been 11 years ago. Tom Sudar provides our player of the game with two plaques, one for the school and one for the player. For all your needs, visit crowntrophy.com or stop by in People's Plaza and say hello to Tom. If you haven't seen our poster yet, you can see it on the Fox Sports 1290 website. NKN Films designed another beauty of our poster. Represents all the teams we cover and one player from each of those teams. For all your video needs, visit nknfilms.com. 5:52 to play here in the second quarter. A 29-12 lead, 17-point lead, the largest of the night. Mount Pleasant over Salesianum behind three three-pointers by Eshawn Butcher. Sally's has it. Kalk drives in. He gets kicked back out. He gets it to Ferrante. Ferrante looking for a shot, can't find it. Brings Vaughn. Vaughn at the top of the key. Almost picked off there by Butcher. And that leaves Ferrante open. They opened the bottom of the net wing.
Unfortunately for Mount Pleasant, that was great defense, but they couldn't come away with the full steal. Went right to Max Ferrante, who, as you said, was all alone and drains the three.
Butcher gets it. No-look pass underneath from Ali. Underneath the Barnes-Gibbs. He goes up, but it's blocked away by Hines. Another terrific pass from Ali, but that one wasn't a successful pass that blocked out of bounds.
You're right. Just great court vision from Amir Ali, and I believe Kalk again picked up now his second foul. as he went up to stop Jadon Barnes-Gibbs, kind of made sure to send him to the free throw line instead of giving up an easy 2 points.
Gibbs now 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had a +1, and makes the first one here. Checking in for Sally's is going to be Regan. He's going to give Ethan Hines a rest. And getting ready to check in for Mount Pleasant. That's going to be number 12, Samaj Gaiman, who normally starts in the Mount Pleasant Knights, but did not delay, so Ridge Logan could start here on senior night. Second shot up and good for Barnes-Gibbs. He now has 5 on the night.
If you had the prop bet of Mount Pleasant by 17 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, you're a big winner. I can tell you I did not have this scenario unfolding here tonight. They're 16, excuse me.
31 to 16. Salesianum with the ball. They trail Mount Pleasant here on senior night. Jack Brown from 3, top key, rattles in and out, no good, but coming down with it is Vaughn. He goes up strong on the left side, gets partially blocked. Amir Ali has it, he gets it ahead to Butcher. It's stripped out from him by Parson. And now Parson's going to head the other way. He drives right down the middle for the lay-in.
Parson, a great job. The Red Sea just opened up right there. Mount Pleasant, nobody stopped the ball. He just kept going until he put in the layup.
Cherry pick and tight move on the other end for Butcher, but wasn't able to get the shot off wisely. Just kept running along the baseline and got it back outside.
Salesianum starting to extend that defense more and more now, and going to pick up a call on Charles Parson there, I believe, for the push.
That's going to be his second, the team's 8th, so that'll bring them into the 1-on-1, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, Mount Pleasant now for the last 4 minutes, 31 seconds will be shooting free throws. This is something they really need to take advantage of, an opportunity to really put some distance between them and the Sal's in this first half.
They've struggled from the free throw line in years past. I always remember Lisa Sullivan telling me, and just on cue there, you shot Butcher makes me look foolish, and nails it, nothing but the bottom net. She told her players one time, this was after a state tournament loss where they missed quite a few free throws. You never know whether that really is the difference or not, but she told her players, when I see you on the playground in the summer, I better not see you dunking and launching from 3. I want to see you 15 feet away from the basket working on that. But he makes both 2 for 2, and so that's now 13 points. Butcher comes in averaging 17, and the lead is 33 to 17. In favor of Mount Pleasant. Vaughn has it, pull-up jumper from 15, that's near the left elbow, no good. Butcher comes down with it, but Ferrante whips it away from him, so the smallest guy on the floor comes away with the rebound, and now Ferrante launches from NBA 3 off the front of the rim. Vaughn comes down with it, he gets it stripped away from him by Ali, and Ali comes the other way, dishes it off to Butcher, and a little bit too hard into the basket, tipped out of bounds, belongs to Salesianum.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ali tried to play the defender there a little bit too long, and by the time he was under the basket, he fired a pass to Eshad Butcher, who stopped moving because he was trying to keep himself from getting underneath of the basket. Just a little miscommunication, mistiming on the pass, and a missed opportunity for Mount Pleasant.
Ethan Hines checks in for Vaughn. And it's going to be Hines shooting from 3 on the right wing, nothing but the bottom of the net. So welcome back into the game, Mr. Hines.
That was a beautiful job by Hines. Samaj Gaiman just a little slow getting out to the perimeter to guard him. Hines caught it and shot it. Hit the 3.
On the other end is Barnes-Gibbs. He goes up strong, and he's going to be fouled by Regan, so he'll head to the line and shoot 2. A token press there by Sally, trying to pressure Mount Pleasant into turning the ball over. Turns into a layup, and I always tell our team that I coach, Marty, if a team presses you, you score 2 straight layups, you're not going to have to worry about the press anymore.
No, that's right. They'll back off very quickly. And now Jadon Barnes-Gibbs again driving in, and you get Salesianum in some foul trouble here. As we said, they do go deep. They can go 10, 11 deep at times, and they may need to do that by necessity tonight as they're really starting to rack up the foul.
Barnes-Gibbs now 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He has 6 points, and they will be shooting the double bonus the rest of the way, as that is the 9th foul against Salesianum.
With Barnes-Gibbs and Patton, they have 2 really reliable guys to come off the bench, does Mount Pleasant, as he misses the second one.
And so it's 34 to 20, a 14-point lead for Mount Pleasant. 3:32 to play here. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. They get it into the corner. Ferrante drives in, puts it up with the left hand. On the right side, no good. Coming down with it is Mount Pleasant, sprinting the other way as Eshad Butcher. He gets it underneath to Alodegwe. And stepping out of bounds was Butcher, who got the ball back. Checking in for Salesianum is going to be Kevin Ludis, making his first appearance of the night.
Not sure who he came in for Ferrante, so Ferrante will have a seat with 3:18 to play here in the first half.
Well, the ball movement from Mount Pleasant tonight has been so crisp. There's just been some times where they've found unforced errors. That time Butcher stepping out of bounds, but you can't fault the passing tonight.
Jack Brown, green light, and another miss, hard off the back of the rim with that three-pointer from the top of the key. Amir Ali comes down with it, and he's slowing it down. Coach Sullivan is calling out the play here. Amir Ali drives right by the defender, goes in strong, misses the layup, gets his own rebound, puts it back up,
partially blocked, coming down with it is Regan. And so he wins that war, and trying to throw it away, or trying to get it to his teammate. It's picked off by Ali up into the air. Ali flies out of bounds and throws it back off Regan, and it's going to stay Mount Pleasant ball. Talk about hustle, Marty, with a 14-point lead.
That was an amazing display of hustle by both guys. I thought Regan for fighting hard twice to deny Ali on 2 layups, and then Ali to keep fighting, and then the presence of mind to bounce it off Regan as he went out of bounds.
Ali gets into a Lodeway, gets it back to Ali. He's on the right side being guarded by Parson. He dishes it over underneath to Gaiman. Gaiman gets it back outside to Butcher. Butcher's three, his first miss of the second quarter, is short. And coming down with it this time is Regan. He gets it ahead to Jack Brown. Sally's moving left to right. Brown gets all the way to the front of the rim and lays it up and good.
One of the few times that Brown has found an open lane as he came down the floor. That time Mount Pleasant defense slow to collapse in the middle of the lane. Brown took full advantage.
They jump stop in the middle of the lane. Amir Ali lands and dishes it off to Butcher, and Butcher has another two. His lead is 36 to 22.
Sally's wastes no time on the other end, pushing it ahead. Brown brings it back out. They work it around the circle there. Ludus has it in the left corner.
Double team there, looking for help. He finds help in the middle as Hines goes up, misses, but Brown follows it up and good.
Jack Brown, a great job of following up there on the miss. Ludus got himself in all kinds of trouble underneath the basket, was able to bail himself out. Hines with the miss, but Brown from the weak side came and finished it off to bring Sally's within 12.
Now there's a foul on the other end, and if that's against Parson, that's his third. And that was a foul about 75 feet away from the basket, and it's going to send Mount Pleasant. That's going to be a Lodeway that goes to the line, and actually that foul is going to be on Ludus, so it was only his first. But the Green Knights in the double bonus, and Lodeway is going to shoot 2, try to get his first points of the night. Comes in averaging 5 points a game. Shot is up and off the side of the rim and out. Checking in for Mount Pleasant is Quentin Turner, and Charles Russell. Checking in for Salesianum is Darnell Vaughn. And it's going to be Barnes Gibbs, who has a seat, as well as Amir Ali. 1:43 left to play. Regan has a seat for Sally's.
Yeah, Quentin Turner doesn't usually get a ton of minutes, at least in the first half of games for Mount Pleasant. So Coach Sullivan wanting to get Amir Ali out, give him a little bit of a breather with 1:43 to go, as the second free throw is good, and a 13-point lead for Mount.
37-24. It's Ludus with the ball and trailing by 13. Salazar. Vaughn dribbles it, almost loses control of it. He's being guarded closely by Russell, the senior, and he gets it over to Jack Brown. Brown being guarded closely by Gaiman, looking for the foul there. Hines has it. He's being guarded by Lodeway, and so Sally's working it around, and it's picked off from behind by Butcher, and he steps out of bounds. So Mount Pleasant is winning the battle of the loose balls, or the tip, or the rebounds that aren't controlled.
You took the words right out of my mouth. They're out hustling Salesianum. They're beating them down the floor. They're getting the loose rebounds. They're getting the loose balls on the floor, and they're also defensive intensity. Sally's just hasn't been able to match it with their offense. Mount Pleasant has been all over the place, using arms, legs, hands. They're in every passing lane. They're not making anything easy for the Sows.
And speaking of easy, Koff drives down the lane. It goes in and pops out. As close as you can get. Amir Ali, who checked back in. He has the ball on the right side. He came back in for Quentin Turner, the sophomore. Had just a couple minutes. Ali drives the baseline. He dishes it off to Gaiman, who turns it over to Brown, trying to make that extra pass. Brown takes things into his own hand. Up off the rim, no good. Skies from nowhere and puts it up and in.
That's a great hustle play. We just talked about Darnell Vaughn taking it upon himself, get down the floor, and then he out-jumped 3 Mount Pleasant defenders for that loose ball rebound. Went up for a big 2. Sal's only down 11.
Vaughn's first two of the night comes in averaging 14, so he needed to get going there. Mount Pleasant has it with 30 seconds left, 37-26. Driving in is Aladogwe, and he looks to dish it off, and the foul is called. We'll see if they give him, well, it's going to be a one-on-one, or it's going to be a 2-shot foul either way, because enter into double bonus.
They're going to get Ludus there, a real bailout foul, because I thought Moses Alodogwe was a little bit out of control. He kind of left his feet before he knew exactly where he was going to go with the ball, but Ludus picks up the foul and sends Alodogwe to the free throw line. And again, we talked about, as he nails the first, this is going to be an opportunity and maybe a theme throughout the night where Mount Pleasant is going to have to take advantage of these free throw situations, as Sal's will be much more likely to give the foul than allow an easy two inside.
For Mount Pleasant, Barnes Gibbs checks in. Charles Russell, the senior, has a seat. 27.2 seconds left to play. Second shot is no good. And so Alodogwe has made one, missed one both times to the free throw line. 21 seconds left to play. 38-26. Mount Pleasant with the lead. Sally's with the ball, moving left to right. As we see it, Rasheen Koch, the sophomore, certainly has a bright future ahead of him, both in the fall, on the gridiron, and in the winter here on the hardwood floor. He looks for a pick, gets it. Nice switch there by Mount. They get it over into the corner. The ball drives in, steps to the side, goes up, misses, but is fouled. Will go to the line to shoot two.
Vaughn kind of taking things upon himself again on Sally's offensive side, trying to make something happen. He's a really strong kid. He's got a great first step. He can hit the three from outside, but where I think he's most dangerous and most useful to Coach Trevison and the Sal's team is when he drives to the basket, that time forcing the contact, going to the free throw line.
Barnes Gibbs picks up his second. And so now Sally's will be in the one-on-one as well. That was a shooting foul, so Vaughn was going to go to the line either way. 68% free throw shooter. First shot is up and short left onto the rim. Checking in for Sally's is going to be Parson, and Ferrante. Ludus is going to have a seat. We'll see who else comes out and see who came out for Sally's. Hines is going to, I'm sorry, it's Russell who is going to check back in for Barnes Gibbs.
It looks like they're trying to get, Coach Sullivan is just trying to make sure with Charles Russell in there, they make sure they secure this rebound with just under 3 seconds to go if he misses the shot.
Second shot is up, and this one is off the back right of the rim. Coming downward is Mount Pleasant, and Russell throws it away to the bench. Amir Ali.
Russell did exactly what I said he was going to do. He grabbed the rebound, then turned around and threw it right out of bounds as Ali, he thought Ali was going to be standing still, and Ali had already taken off and headed up court, which Russell should have been aware of considering there was only 2 seconds to go in the half.
Sally's has a stack at the top of the key. 1.8 seconds is basically a catch and shoot. Inbounding it is going to be Hines, and it's stolen there by Mount Pleasant by Barnes Gibbs, so they weren't able to get a shot off, and that is going to bring us to the end of the first half here at Mount Pleasant. Your score.
No matter where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
No.
From the frozen section? Sure. From that other big pizza chain? Any pizza. Seriously? Seriously. Just download the Domino's app and
sign into your pizza profile, then use the app to scan any pizza, and you could earn 10 Piece of the Pie Rewards points toward free Domino's Pizza. Limited time offer open only to Piece of the Pie Rewards members. Point distribution will vary and quantities are limited. Restrictions apply. Visit pointsprize.com for details.
Welcome to the high school basketball game of the week halftime report. Presented by IBEW Local 313 and its local contractors on Fox Sports 1290.
And good evening, I'm Earl Holland in the Fox
Sports you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust. Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Conrad at DMA, Tower Hill at Glasgow, Woodbridge at Lake Forest, Indian River at Milford, Middletown at Appoquiniminick, St. Elizabeth at Archmere, Dover at Cave Henlopen, Seaford at Sussex Academy, Caesar Rodney at Sussex Tech, and the late game starts at 7:30. Del Castle at St. Mark's. In men's college, and halted a 3-game losing streak with a 70-66 win over UNCW at the Bob Carpenter Center Saturday night. Ryan Allen led all hens scored with 15, while Kevin Anderson added 14, and Eric Carter had his 12th double-double of the year with 12 points and 13 rebounds. Delaware is back in action Thursday as they host Towson in CAA play at the Bob Carpenter Center at 7 p.m. After that, the Blue Hens go to Harrisonburg, Virginia as they take on James Madison Saturday night at 8 p.m. You can hear all those Larkin had a team-high 19, but Delaware State was trounced by North Carolina Central 87-52 on the road Monday night. The Hornets are 4-20 on the year and 1-10 in the conference. Del State will have a while before they return to action as they will host Maryland Eastern Shore at Memorial Hall on February 23rd. Moving on to women's basketball. In the MEAC, Delaware State was on the short end of a 65-64 decision against North Carolina Central on Monday. The Hornets, who are 4-18 overall and 2-9 in the MEAC, have a long way off until they return home to take on Maryland Eastern Shore at Memorial Hall on February 23rd. Moving on to Delaware women. The Blue Hens saw their 4-game winning streak snap as Drexel shut down the Hens 58-41 Sunday in Philadelphia. Nikita Nicholas was the lone Blue Hen in double digits with 13 points and 7 rebounds. The Blue Hens are now 10-12 overall and 5-5 in the Colonial Athletic Association. Delaware returns home to their friendly confines at the Bob Carpenter Center as they host Northeastern on Friday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. After that, Natasha Adair's squad remains at home as they host Hofstra on Sunday. Tip-off for that game is 2 p.m. You can catch Delaware women's basketball all season long here on Fox Sports 1290 and 1410 WDOB, with pregame starting 30 minutes before game time. We head back down to Mount Pleasant with John and Marty for second half action with the score 38-26 in favor of Mount Pleasant. I'm Earl Holland. You're listening to Delaware High School basketball on Fox Sports 1290.
This has been the high school basketball game of the week halftime report, presented by IBEW Local 313 and its local contractors. We'll be right back with the start of the second half on Fox Sports 1290, foxsports1290am.com, and on our iHeartRadio app.
What's that?
That song Green.
Yeah.
Start the year out right with a clean financial slate at American Spirit Federal Credit Union. American Spirit can help with loan refinancing opportunities designed to save you money. New and used auto loans as low as 2.99% APR. Personal loans, home equity loans, lines of credit, and mortgages too. Make American Spirit Federal Credit Union your financial institution today, with locations in Newark, Middletown, and Dover, offering 24/7
decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations, from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
Decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide financial stability.
School Hoops Game of the Week, presented by the U.S. Air Force.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. We're getting ready to tip off, or I should say throw in, the second half ball here. Mount Pleasant with a 38-26 lead. They fell behind 5-0. It looked like it could be trouble for Coach Sullivan's Green Knights, who are coming off consecutive back-to-back losses and really need to pick up a win here tonight. But they stormed forward and took an 8-6 lead, led at the end of the first quarter 20-12, and again your score 38-26 here at the half. Ishad Butcher leads all scorers with 15 points. Famir Ali, the leading scorer on this team, has 8 for Mount Pleasant. Jadon Barnes-Gibbs came in off the bench to get 6. 9 points for Jack Brown of Salesianum, 4 points apiece for Ethan Hines and Rasheen Kalk. And so that's how we look here as we get ready to start the second half. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan on Fox Sports 1290 and the 302 Sports live stream. Senior night here at Mount Pleasant. Nathan Patton, a junior, is going to start this second half along with Samaj Gaiman, a sophomore. Ali is in, as well as Charles Russell and Ishad Butcher, who again led all scorers with 15. Ferrante, Brown, Vaughn, Kalk in for Salesianum along with Regan. So the same guys that started the game are back in to start this second half. Underway here. Sally's now moving right to left as we see it here from our midcourt seats. Jumper inside the lane by Kalk, and a good start. Gets his 6th point of the night and puts the Sows on the board first. And they still trail 38-26. Pressure by Sally's. Mount Pleasant breaks that with no problem. They get it into the corner, and a traveling violation against Nathan Patton. Had the shot, wanted to get a better shot, 3 steps to the left and travel with the ball.
Yeah, Patton had a wide open 3 in the corner. He went up to take it and then changed his mind, decided to go inside and took that first step before the ball hit the floor. You're going to call that every time.
Sally scored the first 5 points of the game. They've scored the first 2 points here in the second half. Jack Brown has it. He's being guarded closely by Patton. Regan gets it, tries to get it inside. It's tipped away by Ali into the hands of Butcher. Butcher 1-on-3, wisely brings it back out, gives it to Ali, who gives it right back to him. Ferrante picked him up so he couldn't get a 3. He is got 3 threes in the second quarter, Butcher does, and again leads all scorers with 15 points. Ali gets it over into the corner, and a foul is going to be called, and that foul is going to be on Kalk, his third.
Wow, less than a minute into the second half, and that was just it was a nonsensical foul in terms of it didn't need to happen. Kalk just tried to cut him off to the baseline, but he didn't move at all. He just kind of stuck his leg out and picked up the contact foul. Bad foul for Kalk.
Butcher receives the inbounds, puts up the jump shot from the wing from about 8 feet, no good. Sallies comes down with it. He gets it ahead to Brown. Brown runs in, floats it up, runs over the defender. Brown gets his own rebound on his knees, gets it over to Ferrani. Ferrani pump fakes Butcher, doesn't get him to go up in the air, and instead picks up a foul. So Butcher's going to pick up his first foul. Ferrani's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, that's the first time we've seen that this year as Brown goes up and had the shot kind of stuffed. It hit the rim, and he fell to his knees, and the ball fell right into his lap. So good job, good presence of mind to get the ball back up and out to Max Ferrani, who picked up, drew the contact from Mount Pleasant.
And he didn't travel.
No.
Ferrani's first free throw is good. He's a 59% free throw shooter, and so Sallies has scored the first 3 points of this second half. Second foul shot hangs on the rim and falls out, no good. So 38-29. Mount had a lead as high as 17. Ali drives in, dishes off. Scoring is Samaj Gaiman, +1.
I love that move by Samaj Gaiman. He used his left arm to kind of stabilize himself. He didn't jut it out, so he's not going to get called for the offensive foul. Regan actually took that right in the choppers. He's actually feeling for blood right now, but he was looking for the offensive foul call, but he was the one who was moving. He initiated the contact, even though Gaiman put out his elbow. So I love the call by the official, and Gaiman completes the old-fashioned three-point play.
41-27, 6:41 to play here in the third quarter of this non-conference game between the number 8 Mount Pleasant Green Knights and number 9 Salesianum Sals. And Kalk goes in, and he's stripped of the ball, but they're going to call the foul on Famir Ali. Ali's second. Both of his fouls have been careless, in my opinion.
You said it. That we talked about it earlier. They're fouls he can't afford to pick up. They're unimportant to the flow, the outcome of the game. They just don't. They're over-aggressiveness. He's got to make sure he realizes his importance to being in this game. Doesn't pick up those cheap ones.
Both fouls are ones that if he does make the steal, he has a layup or a dunk on the other end. But instead, he's picked up 2 fouls here in a game where they need him in the game. Brown jumper looking for the foul, no good from the foul line. Famir Ali has it, moving the other direction for Mount Pleasant. A 41-29 lead, 6 minutes to play here. Famir Ali drives in, dishes it off to Russell. Russell's layup underneath, no good off the back of the rim. Looked like he didn't know whether he wanted to use the backboard or not. Brown's got it. He streaks the other way, goes behind his back into the lane, puts it up. No good. Tip in and good by Regan.
Regan, a really nice job. He just went up and over the defenders of Mount Pleasant. He didn't make body contact, so no foul call. Great job, Regan. Just vertical lift to get that and drop it in.
A little bit of a zone press there by Sally's, more of an annoyance than anything. Now they're back into their man-to-man defense. Ali has it. He's being guarded by Ferrani. Gets a pick, takes the jumper from 3, long and right. Coming down with it is Ali. Follows his own shot, scoops it up and in around Brown.
Ali, he has just been unbelievable tonight. The hustle. He was outside the arc when that shot went up, worked his way in, got the rebound, and worked his way around 2 Sal's defenders.
3-pointer hard off the back of the rim by Kalk. Not sure that's a shot Trevisan wanted. Ali comes down with it. He's going to take his time as we approach the 5-minute mark. 12-point lead, 43-31 for Mount Pleasant. They're coming off a 2-game losing streak, trying to get back into the win column, hoping for a first-round bye. Ali drives right in, goes up against, and scores against Riemann.
From here, Ali at an unreal angle, banked that off the glass. He was about 8 to 9 feet away when he let go of the ball as he was going away from the basket. Just a great job of a little physics lesson there from Famir Ali.
Up and under by Vaughn on the other end, misses, and coming down with it is Gaiman. You know, on that other defensive play, Regan did about all you can do.
Yes, he did.
Other than foul him. Ali's got it. He drives in against Brown. He gets stopped, and they're going to call traveling against Famir Ali, so trying to do a little bit too much. Parson is going to check in for Sally's, and it looks like he's going to give who's coming out. Ferrante is coming out. So Parson in, Ferrante out. 4:35 to play here in the third quarter. John Busby along with Marty Sheehan. Mount Pleasant with a 45-31 lead over the Sals. Kalk bringing up the ball, the sophomore.
John, you said Ferrante came out. He has been completely nullified by this Mount Pleasant defense tonight as they pick up unfortunately for Coach Sullivan, another cheap foul way outside the arc, as that time it was Samaj Gaiman who bodied the Salesianum ball handler. Just unnecessary, got in his way and kind of stuck out his hip a little bit. You're going to get that call. Coach Sullivan, you know she doesn't want to give Sally's any freebies because they do have some good free throw shooters on this team.
And so Kalk's got the ball now. He works his way around the defender. They kick it out to Vaughn in the corner. He gets in, can't get by Russell. Dishes back to Jack Brown. Another three-point miss from the top of the key. And they're going to call a foul underneath.
Yeah, that's
Vaughn
going to be
went
on
up for the
Charles
rebound.
Russell. Yeah, Charles Russell was going away from the basket trying to secure the rebound and got under the chin of the Salesianum rebounder, who I believe was Regan. So, again, Mount Pleasant starting to pick up some fouls they didn't in the first half.
Parson gets it to Vaughn. Spin move inside against Ali. Nice defense there. Hits a cutting Brown, floats it in, and good.
Brown has taken about 90% of the shots in the second half here for Sal's. He got that one to fall. When he's at his best, and he is a scorer. He's a guy who needs a lot of shots to get his points, but if he gets going, he can be trouble from the outside and inside the paint.
Coach Sullivan doesn't like what she's seeing right now. She takes a 30-second timeout. Her team leading 45-33, and they will have the ball coming out of the timeout. 3:52 to play here. NKN Films designed our schedule posted this year. Check it out on Fox Sports 1290am.com. And for all your video needs, visit nknfilms.com. We want to thank the United States Air Force for once again sponsoring the Fox Sports 1290 Game of the Week. They did so for football and basketball, and we had Tech Sergeant Bug on. He's the man responsible for that support, and we had him on, and he was talking about how something that came out of that was Ridge Logan, a senior here at Mount Pleasant, got accepted into the U.S. Air Force, and so has a nice career ahead of him. So a feel-good story from this relationship, or partnership, I should say, that we've got the United States Air Force. 3:52 to play here in the third quarter, 45-33. It's going to be Mount Pleasant ball coming out of the timeout. Gaines on the floor along with Ali, Russell, Patton, and Butcher. Butcher has it on the left side. He's being guarded by Parson. Jumps up in the air, doesn't know where he's going with it. Instead, it's picked off by Brown. Brown gets it ahead to Kalk. Kalk pulls it back to the right wing, gets it inside to Brown. Brown goes in strong, partially blocked by Butcher. Jack Brown looking for the foul, not coming. Instead, it's Ali on the other side. He gets it to Butcher. Three-pointer from the right corner, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Boy, when Butcher is on, he is bringing rain with those three-pointers. A huge angled shot that just looks beautiful going through the air before it splashes through.
Kalk drives in, puts up a wild shot, no good, but coming down with it, that's Parson who lays it up and in.
Really nice hustle by Parson. Instead of taking off down the floor, he waited a second to see what happened with the rebound, and it paid off in an easy two for the Sows.
And now on the other side, Butcher driving along the left sideline, and Vaughn's going to pick up his second foul. It's going to be the team's fourth. And checking in for Sally's is going to be Ethan Hines, and he's going to have Vaughn come out. Not sure if it'll be for the final 3:10 or not. Vaughn's offense, 14 points a game. The stats we're giving you are through the first 9 games is what Coach Trevison was able to give us, and we do appreciate that. But if you're a solid Sally's fan and you're thinking that it might be a few points off here or there, that's probably why. Mount Pleasant with the ball, 48-35 to lead. 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And driving in is Russell. He's trying to pivot around, puts it up strong, and coming down with it, Brown fighting for it, and it ends up in the hands of a Mount Pleasant player.
Wow, that's going to be the fourth on Kalk, John.
Wow.
I'm not sure about that foul. It was a loose ball, and he actually looked like he had the angle for it.
And it was a Lodegway here. Now the ref is talking to Trevison about something. I'm not sure what.
I don't think Taylor Trevison liked to call, and I think the ref, before something got any
why.
further, yeah. But that is going to be number 4 on Rasheem Kalk, and he is still going to stay in the game with 2:56 to go in this third quarter. And if you listen to the pregame show, I think Kalk has one of the brighter futures of anyone on this floor. He has really turned into a great athlete.
Speaking of athletes, Ali, all-conference player, wide receiver in football, misses the jumper from the left wing. Coming down with it is Salesianum. Brown has it. He drives in. He's at his way inside. Hasn't been able to make it, but converts that one for his 13th point of the night. And Sally's is within 11, the closest they've been in a while. They trailed by as many as 17 early in the second quarter. 2:30 to play, 48-37. Mount Pleasant working it around, and a jumper from Butcher from 3, left off the left side of the rim and out of bounds. Going to be Salesianum ball.
And Coach Sullivan did not like that call. She immediately looked at Butcher and kind of moved her hands in a fashion of, we need to keep this going. In other words, work it around the perimeter. That time, Butcher took the pass. He was 5 feet outside of the arc, had a man on him, and still threw that shot up.
Ferrante and Vaughn back in, Brown and Kalk out for Salesianum as they're going to try to pull this within single digits with 2:15 to play. Ferrante's got it. He's picked off there by Russell. They get it underneath, and a nice job by Ali. Another Mount Pleasant pickoff here. Ali going in strong to the hoop, lays it up off the glass and good.
John, I don't know if you feel like I do. It feels like Ali, there's 4 versions of him out on the floor. He's behind people. He's in front of them. He's stealing it right and left. He's coming down the court and hitting layups after he starts beyond the three-point arc. He is just having a great comeback game tonight. Again, missed their last loss against Christiana through his own actions. He's making up for it tonight.
Ferrante with a jump shot from the foul line is short off the front of the rim, and coming away with it is Aladagwe, and he dishes off to the corner to Patton, who drills a 3.
Patton, one of the rare opportunities he's got wide open behind the three-point line. He loves to shoot from the left. If you watch Mount Pleasant film, that time wide open, splashed it from beyond the arc.
And Ali gets his hand on another pass. Out of bounds, going to stay Sally's ball as Jack Brown checks in for Regan. Checking in for Mount Pleasant is Quentin Turner and Barnes Gibbs, and it's going to be Russell and Ali who have a seat. I'd like to know, they used to keep the stat, or they do in the NBA, of tip balls.
Yes.
Famir Ali has to have at least 7 or 8 tips tonight.
All over the place tonight.
Sally struggling to get the ball inside. They do get it to Hines. Hines being guarded closely by Patton. 1:23 to play. A 53 to 37 lead. They get it underneath to Vaughn, and they're going to call foul. It wasn't a shooting foul, so it will be underneath.
Now, it looks like they got Jadon Barnes-Gibbs underneath with a hold. But, John, they use the term suffocating defense a lot. What Mount Pleasant is doing tonight is suffocating defense. Sally's is just not able to find any daylight to get off an easy shot. Brown has had some success driving the lane tonight, but other than that, everything has been a slog for them.
And they're going to call a foul underneath. I think they're going to call that on Patton, and if they do, it's only his second foul, but it was before the ball even got in. They called him for a hold. He was trying to keep Hines from getting open. Hines does get open this time, and he gives it back out to Parsons on the left wing. Parsons gets it to Jack Brown. Back out to Parsons. Vaughn has it. He drives in, floats one up, and scores, and is fouled.
And now, you know what, John? A great job there by by Vaughn to get inside, but maybe equally as devastating for Mount Pleasant is that is now a 7th team foul on Mount Pleasant. So for the remainder of this game, which amounts to 9 minutes and 7 seconds, Salesianum will be going to the free throw line for every foul opportunity. Mount Pleasant, Sally's, has only committed 4 fouls this half, so it's been a real reversal in terms of the foul situation.
Foul was on Butcher, his second. He's going to check out along with Patton, and it's Alodagwe and Gaiman who check back in. Vaughn getting ready for his foul shot, short and right, no good, so it's going to stay 53 to 39. Mount Pleasant with a lead as we approach the 1 minute mark here in the third quarter. Alodagwe has it. He gets it over to Barnes-Gibbs. Gibbs being covered but not very closely by Vaughn. Vaughn then comes out. Barnes-Gibbs tries to get around him. He dishes off there to Quentin Turner, the sophomore. He gets it back over to Barnes-Gibbs, back out to Turner. Turner working against Ferrante with his left hand and handing it off to Alodagwe. Quentin Turner makes a spin move on Ferrani, gets it to Famir Ali. He's bodying up Parson. Turnaround jumper from the baseline is an air ball. Brown comes down with it. He looks ahead to Ferrante. 25 seconds to go. Ferrani kicks it back out to Vaughn. Vaughn loses control of it, regains it, goes behind his back into the lane. Double teamed inside, gets it to Jack Brown. Jack, another floater in the lane is good. So Jack Brown has caught fire inside the lane. His 6th point of the quarter, 15th of the night. It's 53 to 41. A 12-point lead. Mount Pleasant has the ball, 8 seconds left. A nice dish by Famir Ali to Barnes-Gibbs for 2. And just like that, they're back up by 14. Sally's almost throws the ball away, doesn't get the shot off, and so a frantic finish there by the Sal's after the beautiful dish by Ali.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvement's pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Ready to make your commute more entertaining, more interesting, even more productive? Then try 100% ad-free listening on Audible. Each month, you'll get 2 Audible originals, exclusive titles you can't find anywhere else, plus a credit good for any audiobook and unlimited access to exclusive fitness and wellness programs, all with our commitment-free guarantee. The most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories. Go to audible.com today to start your free 30-day trial, and your first audiobook is on us.
Welcome back to the Delaware High School Basketball Game of the Week, presented by the U.S. Air Force on Fox Sports 1290, foxsports1290am.com, and on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back to Mount Pleasant High School, where we're getting set to start the fourth quarter here. The Green Knights have a 55-41 lead. They trailed 5-0 to start the game, haven't trailed since, led by as many as 17 early in the second quarter. The Sal's have been battling back, and Marty, just when they throw a punch, Mount Pleasant gets right back up and punches them right back.
They do. Sally's Jack Brown had a really good quarter for Salesianum, but it still ends with a 14-point Mount Pleasant lead, much due to the fact that Famir Ali and company have played outstanding defense, and they've taken advantage of their opportunities inside. It's just a matter now of continuing what they've done in the first 3 quarters to finish this off.
And I use the term punch. It's actually been a very, very clean game as Ali drives in on the left side, puts it up with the right, and scores his 16th point of the night. Famir Ali has given Mount a 57-41 lead. And on the other end, Ferrante fires from 3 on the left wing. That's short, but the long rebound comes down in the hands of Russell. Nice job there by Hines trying to get it away, and he does. Vaughn comes up with it, dishes it underneath to Hines. Hines tries to go up, double team. They get it back out to Jack Brown. A wide open 3, nothing but net.
Jack Brown again continuing his hot second half. A big 3-pointer there to bring Salesianum within 13, and another steal.
Another steal, and they're going to call a charge against Charles Parson. That'll be his 3rd. He's not happy. Trevisan arguing with one of the refs that didn't make the call, and so carelessness on Mount turning it over, and maybe a careless drive there on Sally's at this point in the game.
You know what, with Patton, I think he had with Parson, you had a situation where he was completely out of control when he tried to throw up that shot. Anytime as an offensive player you're like that, you're more likely not going to be called for the offensive foul.
And now Parson just picked up his 4th foul as Ali broke between the double trap of Brown and Parson, and the referee picked up a foul on Parson, so he's now got 4 fouls. He's got no more to give, and a pickoff there by Jack Brown on a careless pass by Barnes-Gibbs on the inbound. Brown goes in and scores, so Jack Brown is on fire. He now has 20 points, and Coach Lisa Sullivan, I think it was Coach Lisa Sullivan who called, no, it's called a full timeout by Sally's. So Sally's with a full timeout. So they are now within 11 points, 57-46 with 6:55 to play, and that's about it. That's as close as they've been. They haven't been able to get to single digits yet, but they're within 11 points here, and it's been just a nice onslaught by Sally's, but also a little bit of carelessness on the Mount Pleasant side.
It has, and I think that second part of what you said is even more important. The carelessness by Mount Pleasant is happening when they're trying to inbound the ball after made baskets and after rebounds. So they're having trouble making that initial pass, the outlet pass, and if Sally's can take advantage of that, if they found some kind of Achilles heel with so much time left in the game and only 11-point lead, they're still in this. Plus you have Jack Brown looking like, in all the Sally's games I've watched, I haven't seen Jack Brown play this well since last season overall. I mean, he is just in completely control of the game. He's playing well on defense. He's using great body control as he goes up to the basket. He's avoiding any kind of offensive foul situation. And, yeah, I mean, just for instance, with people listening at home, Mount Pleasant tried to inbound the ball to Famir Ali, who's 6'1", by throwing it over the 6'7" Jack Brown. Just a careless mistake. You're not going to, once Jack Brown extends, he's probably closer to 7'3" with his arm up in the air. So an easy steal for him, and then again, using the control to come down and bank it off the glass.
And Brown, who did most of scoring last season from 3-point range, because of course he had his brother Paul inside. This year has been relied more on inside as Famir Ali gets it inside to Russell. Russell gives it back out despite being open in the post. And Ali has it in his hands. And I'll finish my thought in a minute as Ali goes in strong and he is fouled. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2. My point was that Jack Brown is now making his living inside the lane, at least in this second half, and it's great for any young child who's playing basketball. In fact, I want my son Riley to see this, what he's doing, and it's what I harp all the time. It's great you can shoot from three, but you need to develop an inside game inside that lane, and that's what Jack Brown has changed his game from last year to this year.
He has, you're right, because last year they played a lot of inside out where they'd get the ball into Paul as Famir Ali hits his first free throw, and then they'd kick it out to a guy like Jack or Max Ferranti on the perimeter. This year, with so many guards on this roster and so many guys with ball handling skills, they've gone more to a 5-out set where they have guys standing around the perimeter cutting and going toward the basket, and Brown has taken full advantage of that, especially in this game. Ali with his 18th point of the night, coming back strong after missing the last game. His team leads 59-46. Vaughn drives in, puts it up off the front of the rim. Regan with a follow-up, and tip in is good. Regan, really nice job taking advantage of a little lapse in effort on the weak side by Mount Pleasant. Got by his man, pick up the easy rebound. Famir Ali, a three-pointer from the right wing, short off the front left of the rim. Jack Brown comes down with it, looks ahead. He's picked up quickly by Russell. He gets it over to Ferrante. Ferrante fires from three. That's short, but a long rebound is taken down by Ali. 6 minutes to play here, 59-48. Mount Pleasant with a lead here on senior night, the last home game for the Green Knights. And I think the last shot by Ali was a little one. It was the first one he took that really wasn't necessary. This time, we see what happens when Mount Pleasant uses ball movement. They get the ball inside to Butcher. He draws the defense, dumps it off to Charles Russell, who goes up for two and draws the contact, and he'll go to the line for two shots. That was a great execution of the offense. The foul is going to be against Sean Regan, the 6'5 senior. That is his fourth. So 4 for him, 4 for Charles Parsons on the Mount Pleasant side. 3 for Jadon Barnes-Gibbs is the only foul trouble. Also 4 for Rasheen Kalk, as Russell makes his first of 2 to extend the lead to 60-48. Sally's has not been able to get closer than 11 since early in the second quarter. We always see runs in different games, John, by different teams, and I'm really impressed as Russell knocks down the second that Mount Pleasant has been able to keep that cushion consistent throughout the night. They've withstood every attempt by Salesianum to make a deep run into this lead. Kalk makes a move on his man, gets by him, short, gets his own rebound, puts it up strong, misses the layup. Russell comes down with it. He gives it off to Butcher, goes behind the back, crossover dribble to get beyond Ferrante. Ferrante comes out and picks him up, and Butcher hands it off to Ali. I love the Mount Pleasant offense now. They're going to be a little patient. If they get something easy, they're going to take it. Ali with another move and a great dish underneath, and a foul is good. And Gaiman with his 5th point of the night, and he'll try to make the old-fashioned 3. Another beautiful pass by Famir Ali. You know, it's exactly what I was talking about. They don't need to be in any rush, but if they see something, that time Ali got into the lane. He drew 3 defenders into him, dumped it off to Samaj Gaiman, who goes up, makes sure he makes the shot while absorbing the contact. And Mount Pleasant is just, they are playing one of the more complete games I've seen them play this season, maybe the most complete overall. Parson checks in for Ferrante. Foul shot is up and no good, so it stays 63-48 in favor of Mount Pleasant. Vaughn gets right to the rim on the other side, puts it up and in with his left hand. Really nice job by Vaughn to adjust his shot inside the lane. He was blocked from going straight up, went to his left and banked it off and in. Pressure by Sally's trying to double team the ball handler on the outside. Butcher has it. Vaughn's on him. Butcher goes between the legs, works over to his right, and then he gives it up to Samaj Gaiman. Samaj Gaiman gives it to Famir Ali, covered by Brown. Another no-look pass underneath, but this one too good as it went off the hands of Russell and out of bounds. It's going to be Sally's ball. That's one of the cases, and we talked about Raheem Burnett earlier. We saw this when he was here. Sometimes your basketball court vision is just a little better than that of your teammates. They're not expecting to receive that no-look pass. That time it caught Russell unawares and off his hands and out of bounds. Regan has it on the right side. He gets it in the low post to Vaughn. Vaughn goes right around his man, up strong, and is fouled. He's going to head to the line and shoot 2 with 4:33 to play here. The foul is going to be on Charles Russell, his 3rd now. So Russell and Barnes-Gibbs each with 3 for Mount Pleasant, as Vaughn will head to the foul line. A 68% free throw shooter. He's 1 of 3 on the night. That was a lightning quick first step from Vaughn to get inside of Charles Russell and draw that contact. He just, in the blink of an eye when he got the ball in the block, as he rattles the first one home, it hit the rim and then the backboard. backboard, then the rim again.
Not the way you teach it.
Falling through. No, it isn't.
But you take it.
Yes, it is. So Vaughn, late in this, or midway through this fourth quarter, has made an effort to get inside, and now with the renewed emphasis on Jack Brown, as the Mount Pleasant defense starts to collapse on him, Vaughn's finding some opportunities.
Vaughn now makes the second, now 3 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Once again has Sally's within 11. It's as close as they've been in a while, 63 to 52. They trail by as many as 17 in the first quarter. And Butcher has it. He drives right to the lane, puts it up, misses it, and a follow-up by Russell. That's no good. And Ali fighting for another loose ball. Famir Ali all over the place. An air ball from the right wing at 8 feet. It was either partially blocked or maybe even a foul that wasn't called. And it's Kalk now for Sally's on the other end, up and in on the layup.
Boy, Kalk, a nice job of adjusting in flight to lay that in. You'd love to see Ali on the previous possession pull that ball out and start a new possession. Instead, it was 1 against 2 of the Salesianum defenders and just wasn't able to make it fall.
It's single digits for the first time since the first quarter, and Lisa Sullivan is going to take a 30-second timeout and go over what she wants her team to do. 63 to 54. 3:49 to play here. And Marty, let's talk about these two teams. Sally's with a 10-6 record, definitely in the playoffs. Might have enough points if they're able to win out to have to be one of the top 8 teams. Not sure, of course, of any of that now. And basically, same thing for Mount Pleasant, 13-4. Both their losses, or 2 of their 4 losses, coming this past week. And so they're in a situation, as Coach Lisa Sullivan told me, she thinks if they win out, they can be in the top 8. She thinks their dream of being in the top 4, which they thought they had a very good shot at a week ago before those 2 losses, is probably by the wayside, but a big game for these teams either way.
That's right. The losses to Newark and Christiana probably killed the shot at a top 4 seed, but a win over Sally's tonight and the bonus points they've already built up, if they can finish at 16-4, they've got a fabulous case point-wise to slide into one of those top 8 slots.
I was talking about Jack Brown in his game inside, and my son Riley, who I was talking about, just texted me and said, Dad, I heard what I need to do. So able to give a little bit of lesson here on the broadcast, and the same thing. We're going to have a foul on the inbounds, and the foul is going to be against Charles Russell. That's his 4th, so that is trouble for Mount Pleasant. And it's going to send, I believe, Sally's to the line.
Yeah, for the rest of the game. And this is going to, Sally's going to be at the line. Coach Sullivan is really letting loose on the referees here. You got to be careful. You certainly don't want to give up a cheapy technical foul at any point, as the referee's going to clean up a little wet spot on the floor here. But, yeah, an uncharacteristic foul for Mount Pleasant, who's been smart throughout most of the game. That was called mid-court. So there was nothing it wasn't stopping a layup or a pass inside or anything like that. So if you're Mount Pleasant with only a 9-point lead, you do not want to give up any free shots to Sally's here and send Vaughn, who's one of their top players, to the line.
Samaj Gaiman is who the foul was on. It's his 3rd, not Charles Russell, so he still remains with 3 fouls. Vaughn was just 2 for 2 from the line a minute ago. He's 3 for 6 on the day. This shot is up and good, so a big shot for Darnell Vaughn, the senior, shoots 68%, and it's now an 8-point game, 63 to 55. This is as close as Sally's has been since the first quarter. They jumped out to a 5-0 lead, and then Mount Pleasant rallied off 8 straight points before Sally's scored on a foul shot. And then it was all Mount Pleasant after that. This shot is long and left, and coming down with it is Mount Pleasant. Butcher has it. He gets it to Famir Ali. 63-55. Mount Pleasant moving left to right in the white uniforms with the green trim here on senior night for Mount Pleasant. 3:34 to play. They work it around. Butcher has it. He's been quiet after an explosive first half of 15 points, including 3 3-pointers. He has just 1 3-point, and that was in the third quarter. And they're going to call a foul against Sally's, and that is going to be on Parson, and I believe that is his 5th. And so Famir Ali is going to head to the free throw line and shoot the 1-on-1, and that is Parsons' 5th foul. And Coach Trevison is calling his team over. He, of course, gets 30 seconds to make the substitution.
And I think if you're Coach Trevison, you don't necessarily mind that foul. Parson, as good a player as he is for this team, you're going for the foul against Famir Ali. You're going for the strip against Famir Ali. They had him double-teamed. So it's a situation that fans here are a little bit confused that it was the 5th foul.
Right.
Of course, they're chanting that they should call a timeout, but you don't need to. You get 30 seconds to replace the player. So Ali will go to the free throw line in a crucial situation with 3:24 to go. The 8-point lead, boy, it's testament to how good Sally's has played, and even more so to how well Mount Pleasant has played, because Mount Pleasant has outplayed Sally's. There was it was a two-shot foul. Charles Russell thought he had an easy put back for another 2 points. But Salesianum has played equally as well, if not, after that 5-point lead, Mount Pleasant scored 18 of the next 19 points. It was actually 18-6 Mount Pleasant at one point. So now some confusion on the foul situation as the refs try to get things sorted. Famir Ali steps up for a second.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant is in the double bonus, and that's why he gets the second foul. It was not a shooting foul. 63-55. Second shot is up and good. So 19 points on the night for Ali. Comes in averaging a team best 27. 64-55. 3:19 to play here. Kalk drives right into the basket, puts it up, misses the layup, and it's Ali who comes down with it, gets it stripped from behind. Kalk with a great hustle play after missing the layup. Vaughn has it on the right side. Ali makes him come back out. And then Gaiman has him, and Kalk goes in, puts it up with the left hand. I'm sorry, it was Vaughn puts it up with the left hand. That's a miss. Jack Brown went after the rebound. Mount comes down with it. They work it around. Ali has it. Coach Sullivan's telling the team to slow it down. They've got a 9-point lead with 2:48 to play, and driving in on the baseline and scoring is Nate Patton. Not sure that's the shot Sullivan wanted, but it worked.
It's a good thing for him he made that shot, or he may be seeing the bench at this moment.
Hines misses the shot from the left wing, and Sally's is going to have to be careful here not to let this get back out of control. Mount Pleasant comes down with the rebound. It's 66-55. They lead by 11. Ali in, and a beautiful pass underneath for Butcher, and the score. Ali has been on fire in every phase of the game tonight. 68-55. Mount Pleasant with the lead.
Boy, he saw Butcher on the weak side all by himself, gave a little hand movement. Butcher cut to the basket. A perfect pass for the easy two for Mount Pleasant.
And then a careless mistake. Jack Brown missed it. Butcher had it. He tried to hit Ali, and it was a lazy pass, and it was picked off by Sally's, and we're going to have a foul on the other side. I think it's going to be Vaughn that heads to the line, and I think
Russell,
the foul
now his fourth.
Yep.
Yeah, this is you don't want to get your body in the way like that. They had Vaughn trying to drive to the hoop, and Russell moved one of his feet at the last second to try to shuffle over, and just got enough body contact to draw that. As I think about it, probably not the worst foul in the world, is you don't want to get Vaughn to get too close to the basket. You'd rather make him make the two foul shots.
And so both teams in a double bonus here. Vaughn's first shot is up and good. So Vaughn now has 11 points, closing in on his season average, which is just right around 15. And it's 68-56, so still a 12-point lead. We are now officially under 2 minutes to go in this game. Second shot is up and no good, and Russell comes down with a rebound. He's going to have to be careful now on both sides of the floor, and Sally's with a quick foul. They're going to send Famir Ali to the free throw line. That foul was on Jack Brown, his second, and so Ali is going to head to the line where he is 3 for 4 in the second half and was 1 for 1 in the first half. So one of the better free throw shooters for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, it was a very nonchalant move by Jack Brown when he committed that foul. I mean, it almost looked like that was the plan, although I would question why Famir Ali is the guy you would send to the foul line at this point. As you said, of course he misses the first one right on cue as it rattles in and rattles out as Sally's makes two substitutions.
Ferrani and Montooth in. Regan is going to head to the bench, as is Ethan Hines. So I think what you've got in now is a couple of three-point shooters.
Yes.
154.
Trying to get a little offense on the other end. Ferranti again has been completely neutralized tonight by the Mount Pleasant perimeter defense.
And Famir Ali does exactly what Sally's hoped, misses both. Jack Brown comes down with the rebound, 68-56. He finds Ferranti. They get it over to Vaughn. Vaughn drives down the middle, and he's fouled. And I think that's going to be Russell's fifth. It is.
Again, that's not a good foul. Too far out from the basket. It's going to send Sally's to the free throw line with a stopped clock, of course.
Yeah.
And Sally's is now going to substitute in the rebounders and defenders. But yeah, just some mental lapses here in the fourth quarter from Mount Pleasant that we didn't see in the first three quarters.
Olodogwe checks in for Russell, and so you've basically lost about 6 inches on that substitution. And so with 1:44 to play, we'll make a note of that. That is when Russell fouls out here. They have a 12-point lead, but of course Sally's going to the bench as Vaughn, who has made 4 out of 6. And this shot is up and good. So Vaughn coming through on the free throw line.
Now the referee, Kevin Ludis, was at the table. They buzzed it, but after the buzzer sounded, Taylor Trevison pulled him back, and the referee has let him do that. Lisa Sullivan is saying he should have been put into the game.
Yeah, interesting. All right, foul shot is up and no good. The second one short right. So an 11-point lead, 68-57. Sally's got within 9 a few minutes ago. And a pickoff there on a lazy pass, and a layup by Kalk is good. So, and Sally's is going to take the timeout. So Coach Sullivan is not going to be happy about that. It was kind of a lazy pass, and at the same time, it was also a pass that the receiver did not go after, and that was that was Nate Patton, who needs to go and catch that ball.
That was just as important. It was like in football where the receiver comes back for the throw. That time Pat needed to come back and make an effort to make that a shorter pass, but Sally's took advantage. Kalk, I think, is such a quick kid. He's got great athleticism. He's going to be one of the better ball players, I think, over the next couple of years for Salesianum and in the state. But right now, they're still within 9 with a minute 30 to go. You send Mount Pleasant to the line, free throw shooting again, and Delaware seems to be a roll of the dice at this point this year. So Sally's certainly not out of it.
Kalk, Regan, Brown, Vaughn, and Hines on the floor for Sally's. Got Gaiman, Patton, Famir Ali, Aladagwe, and Butcher. Mount trying to inbound. They send Patton long. Instead, they get it into Butcher, who gets it over to Gaiman. And another throwaway. Jack Brown picks this one up and lays it in. Misses his first layup inside for a while. And coming down with it was Gaiman. So might have saved himself there in Coach Sullivan's doghouse. As it's going to be a foul, and he'll get to the line.
And for Jack Brown, that's one of the more unfortunate fouls to pick up. His arm got tangled up, and when the defender bent over to secure the ball, he pulled Jack Brown with him over the back of him. And, of course, since Jack Brown was where he shouldn't have been at that point, which is on top of the defender's back, he picked up the foul call.
Ferrante and Montooth are getting set to check in, so they'll have them on offense when Sally's gets the ball back. Gaiman is 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He's going to get a chance to get 2 here and try to extend the lead back to double digits. First shot is up and good. So Hines is going to have a seat, Regan is going to have a seat. Go ahead, Marty.
Sally's, again, as you said, making the substitutions for offense and defense with each possession now. Gaiman has really good form from the foul line. I love it. He repeats the same thing over and over. Nice bend to the knees, nice form when he releases the ball and drains both of those free throws.
And the shot is up and good, so it's back to an 11-point lead, 70-59, 1:19 to play. Montooth has it on the right side. He's quickly guarded. He gets it to cutting Kalk, and there's going to be a foul. That foul is going to be on Nate Patton, his third, and not sure that's a foul Coach Sullivan wanted.
No, and it was very obvious. Patton reached out his hand and pulled on the Sally's cutter, which was Rasheen Kalk, so just not a smart move at all there by Patton. You want to kill as much clock as you can with an 11-point lead now, and again, sending Sally's to the line with a frozen clock.
Kalk misses the first, comes up short with it. He's got 10 on the night, his season average. Regan is going to check back in, as is Hines and Montooth and Ferrante in that little offensive-defensive shuttle there Coach Trevison has going on as Kalk's getting ready to take his second free throw. Only 2 free throws of the night for Kalk, who again has 10 points. Second shot rolls around and in, so Sally's picks up another point, pulls within 10, 70-60. And Kalk is going to have a seat. Ludis has checked in for him. Mount inbounds the ball. That's Gaiman, and another turnover by Mount Pleasant, and you can see Coach Sullivan just grasping her head.
You know what?
With carelessness.
I'm going to defend there. I thought Jack Brown grabbed a hold of Famir Ali's jersey at the last second. It's tightly clung to his back, and I think he grabbed it. There was a slight pull, and he turned to the referee and immediately gave the signal for pull, but Brown was able to get away with it. As you said, again, another careless turnover.
Ferrante and Montooth check back in. Ferrante's got it, being guarded by Butcher. He gets it over to Kalk. Kalk fires from NBA range 3 off the back of the rim. Famir Ali comes down with it. He gets a streaking player up on the other side, lays it up, no good. Rebound by Montooth. It was Patton that missed the layup. And Brown now fires from 3 on the left side. That's strong off the back of the rim. Kalk comes down with it, dishes to Ferrante, who fires a three. That's nothing but air, hits the bottom of the net and out of bounds. And so Mount Pleasant's going to get the ball with 47.8 seconds left, a 10-point lead, 70-60.
It just has not been Max Ferrante's night, kind of punctuated by that air ball there. Is it not an easy shot? He was falling away as he took that three-pointer, but usually one of the cogs of their offense just not able to get free tonight.
They get it away this time, and driving in with a reverse layup, no good. Coach Sullivan's not going to be happy about that, but she will be happy that I think it was Ali who tipped it back in.
Yeah, unfortunately we were screened by people, one of our pet peeves, leaving early.
Brown on the other side. Regan misses his first shot, then puts the second one up and good. And Sally's, I believe, called what I think is their final timeout as the game score is 72-62. So a little bit out of control on the Mount Pleasant side, something that Coach Sullivan, I know, is adamant about not being.
Yeah, you know what, we talk about this throughout each of our basketball seasons. I always think one of a coach's favorite wins is ones where they come away with a big win against a great opponent, but one where they've made enough dumb mistakes, which Mount Pleasant has done tonight, where a coach just loves to get in the gym and hammer away on some of this stuff. I got to tell you, overall, I am so impressed with how Mount Pleasant has played tonight, especially their defensive intensity. After the losses to Newark and Christiana, I think it would have been, if they came out and Sally's kind of ran things and controlled everything, it wouldn't have surprised me. But to see, especially Famir Ali and company, how they've responded tonight, with the amount of intensity, the tenacity they've played with. They've out-hustled Sally's for the first at least 3 quarters of this game. Just a great, great overall effort.
Mount ball, 28 seconds left to play. Game in inbounds. He gets it to Butcher. Butcher is quickly double-teamed. They're going to have to foul soon. Butcher gets it away. He gets it up to Aladigwe, who gets it over to Gaiman. And I think Coach Fullen has told them, don't you dare shoot. They get it underneath, and Patton does exactly as she wished, gives up the layup to get it back out. And now they go after Butcher. I'm not sure of that strategy, Marty. They had plenty of time to foul.
Boy, they let 25 seconds go off the clock there. Yeah, I agree. I don't understand. At first, I thought exactly what you said, that Coach Trevison had kind of given the no
Thrown
foul.
the white flag, yeah.
And, I mean, with a 10-point lead and 30 seconds to go, you could send them a free throw line a couple times. But, boy, to let it go down to under 13 seconds now just did not make a lot of sense.
Butcher had 15 points in the first half, only 5 here in the second half. His foul shot is up and no good. Montout's going to check in along with Ludus and Ferrante. Hines is going to have a seat with Regan and Vaughn. I would think that's probably the last substitution of the night. A 10-point lead here with only 12.8 seconds left.
Even if there's a miss by Butcher here, who just kind of looked to the heavens and said, why can't I get this thing to fall in?
And boy.
Again, in and out. Both shots.
So misses them both. 10 seconds to go. Jack Brown looked like he carried it. No call. They dish it over to the left corner. Nothing but the bottom of the net. So Ferrante with a three-pointer pulls them within 7 points, 72-65. And that's the buzzer, and you can hear the crowd as the Mount Pleasant Green Knights score a victory on senior night. Your final score, Mount Pleasant 72, Salesianum 65. When we come back, it's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show. We hope to talk to Coach Sullivan. We'll announce our Crown Trophy Player of the Game and talk about our next game here on Fox Sports 1290 and 302. Once again, your final score, Mount Pleasant 72, Salesianum 65. We'll be back with the postgame show right after this.
No matter where you are in life, at every stage, we are here for you, for all of life's big moments, and everything in between. After all, that's what families are for. We promise to make a positive difference in your financial life and go beyond the norm. Be a part of the Dover Federal family.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Light, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley: cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lois, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
I promise to make a positive difference in your financial life, from helping you to lower your payments to discovering ways to help you save for your children's future.
From the needs of college students and first-time auto buyers, I promise to identify and take ownership of your needs.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
As a military wife, I love helping our airmen and their families with financial tools to help provide.
When you come away with a win, you guys were down quick and down early, 5-0. You called a timeout, and it was all Mount Pleasant after that. Your thoughts on the game tonight?
I think that tonight we played a very team-oriented game. Like, no one person tried to take over the game. We utilized each other's strengths, and that's the whole difference. We play like that, we're a pretty good team. When we don't, we see that result too.
Your offense played well at times tonight, but I think this was more a game. Everything was driven from the defensive side. I mean, Max Ferranti was one of the better three-point shooters. You guys completely neutralized him. Brown didn't get going, and it was from the inside in the second half. You shut down all of their usual avenues of offense. Was this something that's just a team defense that you're focused on, or was this more Salesianum-centric?
This was Salesianum, definitely.
Okay.
Like I told him in the locker room pregame, every single kid that steps on that court for Sally's is a three-point threat.
Yes.
Respect that.
Right. Yep.
Excellent.
Exactly. One of your three-point threats, Famir Ali, had a tremendous game. Of course, you know, it's well documented. He sat out the last game, and he came back like he was on a mission. And you know, he just came back, and he had some. I said it to Marty. I said we're not going to see two better passes than we saw at one point in the game. There, he had a couple others that were either dropped or missed on layups, and just an incredible player. This is a kid whose career started at Salesianum. He's been with you now for 3 years. Hopefully, you got at least 7 games left with him here. You know, just real quick, and then we'll let you go. Your thoughts on your senior Famir Ali?
I think Famir Ali is a first-team All-State player, and I will put that out there. Player of the Year candidate. I really believe that. Everybody looks at box scores and sees scoring, and he has to score for us because that's, you know, the team we have. But he has the highest basketball IQ. I'd put him against any other kid in the state of Delaware. So if you're voting and it's just on box scores, you know, he still gets it that way. He's averaging 27 points a game.
I said tonight at one point, I said it seems like there's 4 versions of him on the floor.
Right.
He's all of a sudden he's behind guys knocking balls away. Then he's behind the three-point line, but he's getting the rebound on a missed shot. I mean, he's kind of all over the place. Was part of this the frustration that, okay, I missed the Christiana game, maybe I cost us, I come out tonight.
There's no maybe.
Okay.
I think it was twofold. I think that was it, and he was humbled and he apologized to his teammates and coaching staff, so that went a long way. And then I think it was in the 2 years he left Sally's, he didn't beat them. And that was because, and I talked to him about it at length, I felt like he tried to do it by himself. And you're not going to beat a good team by yourself. You need to utilize the strengths of your teammates, and that's where he set people up. And you saw a complete Famir Ali today.
Absolutely.
We talked about the program you've put together here. Raheem Burnett went out of his way to stop by and say hello to both of us, a young man who you influenced his life, obviously, for 4 years. Famir Ali, the same thing. And, you know, Marty and I were talking about, and I've said this before this year, the greatest thing about you being the coach at Mount Pleasant High School is the story is no longer that you're a woman. The story is that you've put together one of the best basketball programs in the state of Delaware. And you've done that by playing, as we say, the right way.
Yes.
The kids know what the rules are. On the court, away from the court, in the classroom.
Thank you for saying that.
And you don't care who they are, you don't care who their parents are, or how many points they score. you're the boss, and it's been that way for 10 years. So, Coach Sullivan, we hope to get the interview again this year, because if we do, it'll be at the Bob Carpenter Center in the semifinal. So,
from your mouth to God's ears.
Congratulations on a great win tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, you
Good
guys.
luck the rest of the way. Coach Lisa Sullivan in her 10th year with a great win here on senior night, 72-65. Over Salesianum Salves. A quick look at your scores. So Amir Ali, who we just talked about, led all scorers with 21 points. Ishad Butcher had 28 points apiece for Nate Patton and Jadon Barnes-Gibbs coming off the bench. 6 points for Charles Russell, 2 for Moses Alodogwe for Mount Pleasant. For Salesianum, they were led by Jack Brown, their leading scorer on the season. He had 20 points, 11 points each for Darnell Vaughn and Rasheen Kalk, 7 points for Max Ferrante and Sean Regan, and 4 points apiece for Charles Parson and Ethan Hines, and 1 free throw for Mike Groom at the free throw line in the fourth quarter. And so for Salesianum, a tough loss. They will live to see another day. They fall to 10-7, or I should say the record moves to 10-7. Mount Pleasant goes to 14-4. Both these teams will be in the playoffs after tonight. Mount Pleasant is a little bit closer to having that first round bye. Both these teams wanted to happen. Marty, your thoughts real quick on this game as a whole.
I thought Mount Pleasant was phenomenal tonight. They looked better than I've seen in any game they played on tape this season. I thought Salesianum, the fact that it felt like Mount Pleasant dominated for 3 quarters. Salesianum was there the entire time. This was just a good, hard-fought basketball game by both teams. Phenomenal defense played both ways at different times. Big players stood up when they have to, and I think that the takeaway from this is Mount Pleasant is a serious contender come March.
All right, when we come back, we'll announce our Crown Trophy player of the game and wrap this one up. Once again, your final score, Mount Pleasant 72, Salesianum 65. We'll be back.